What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing tonight? Janelle, Stack, JD, Matt Flint, Buzz, 897, Chirp, Spartan Wrestler. How is everybody doing? So today we're going to get into kind of what the order flow is. We're going to talk a little bit about the order flow. My video is acting like a little bit crazy today. I don't know what the deal is. You can see the red pill mic. Oh well. Scott, what's up? But yeah, so today we're going to get into order flow, getting a lot of requests on how to use the order flow and kind of what the order flow is, and some other things like that. So we're going to jump into it and go over all of the different tools that you can look into for order flow, and basically a couple definitions, stuff like that. Sherm, Young Cryptic, Aaron, Crypto Kata, what is up? All right. So we're not even going to get into crypto. Maybe we'll get into crypto at the end, but we're just going to go straight into the order flow for now. I want to kind of drive this point home and kind of show you guys what is going on behind the scenes. So without further ado, let's switch it to the chart. All right. And so right here, we are looking at a footprint chart. Let me make it a little bit bigger. That way you guys don't have any issues reading it. Let me also open up my trusty Epic pen. Where are you? There you are. Okay, so when we're looking at an order flow chart, or a footprint chart as they call this is one way to look at order flow, right? And basically order flow is the buyers and sellers auctioning in the market, right? JJ, Metza, Mad Cats, what's up? 897, thanks, bro. Yeah, I got like a gang of hats now. But so basically what it is a way to look at the buying and selling, right? There's many different ways, and we're going to get into all of these different ways that you can look at order flow. And the TPO being one of the ways that you can look at order flow as well, of course. That's how we kind of trade here at the Trade Vets. That's our bread and butter. That's what everything's centered around. And then we add a couple of tools depending upon what we're trading. You can't really use the footprint chart very much on crypto. At least I don't. I think it's a little bit too involved and not really worth it. Zoe, what's up? So what we're going to look at here is we're going to look at the difference between buyers and sellers. So on the left side of our footprint, we're going to see the sellers, and these sellers are going to be hitting the bid, and that's where they're going to show up. And then the buyers are going to be showing up on the right, and they're going to be lifting the offer. So they're going to be like, someone's offering a certain price, and they're going to say, hey, I'll take that off your hands. Serendipity, good evening. And so what we're seeing here is aggression between the buyers and sellers. When we see it highlighted in this red, that's going to show you that there's an imbalance diagonally to this other number of buyers, because that's how the bid and the ask trades, right? So someone is selling something for $1 and someone wants to buy it for 90 cents. Well, in order to get into the market, if they want to get into the market, they think this thing is going to go up, well, then they've got to jump in and buy it for $1, and that's called lifting the offer. And they'll show up on the right side of the footprint chart. And this is how we track order flow. And then, vice versa, if someone's looking to buy something for 90 cents and the seller really wants to get rid of whatever he's selling, he can sell the bid, and then he's going to show up on the left side of the footprint chart. And that's going to be our order flow to the downside. Right now I have us on a 5-tick point and figure chart. Bearish Christian, what's up, guys? And so, this is kind of just the way that I like to look at it. Everyone likes to look at order flow a little bit differently, or the footprint chart a little bit differently. But basically what this chart helps me do is, one, it helps me kind of see my plays. As you can see, those of you that have been through the boot camp, we have a nice corner kick block setting up right here. So a good spot to get long. And this kind of reaffirms you with some of those things that we're looking for, right? So we came down, we saw sellers try to get the price lower. They couldn't, it shut off. We had 136 sellers down here. Price could not continue to the downside. We see back over here, these strong buy imbalances, and these are going to act as support over to this area. And then once we get above that, we see a buy imbalance show up, and then we see price go up. And it is after hours right now, so the volume is very light, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. But we see, if you look underneath of this little blue thing, you can see some buy imbalances up here at the top. So as we got back to the top of this structure, what's happening is these people that sold, that were selling at the top are getting stopped out, and we're getting some initiated buying coming in. That lets you hold on to your position and run it to the upside. And so the biggest thing here that we're looking for is when we're deciding to get into our position, we're wanting to make sure that we're in a good position. So, let's say price is right here and we think, oh, the market's going to keep going up, but we want to get into a good position. Hang on one second, guys. We want to get into a good position. We don't want to just be buying the market wherever, right? We're trying to find these high quality entries. And that's kind of the goal for this, is to to be able to get into the market in these good entries, and that way we're not taking heat, which is basically when you're negative in the trade, right? And basically one thing to consider, and what we'll do is we'll pull up the DOM for right now so we can kind of see it, see what it looks like. And these are going to be orders that have not executed yet. And so we see a little volume profile on the right side. That's what this volume profile is. But you can see these are all of the orders that are in waiting, right? Long and short, what's up, man? So right here, there's 29 people looking to sell at 444.75 and 14 people looking to buy at 444.50. So at any time for any instrument, there's going to be two prices. Many platforms or anything that you use is going to be showing you these two prices. And if you're getting confused on why things are having two prices, is because one is the bid and one is the ask. Sometimes you'll see what the last price is. Like if you're on TradingView, you'll just see the one price. But in reality, when you're actually placing orders, it's going to be a bid or the ask. So let's dissect our DOM a little bit, which stands for depth of market. NinjaTrader just calls it a super DOM. There's nothing special about it. It's actually kind of shit, but they call it a super DOM. But basically, so here's the current price all the way up, right, by each tick, and these correlate with all of these prices over here, right? I know those lines were really straight. And then down here, we have all of the bids, and then up here, we have all of the asks. And this is how our order flow, this is how our trades get executed. And so when this goes to here, we see this number shrinking down. We look over here and we can see that it's trading either on the bid side or on the ask side. And that will tell you who is either selling or buying, right? Sometimes you'll have big orders here and you'll just have sellers move down, move down, move down, and they'll just keep buying all this up, and it will show a big negative sell imbalance on the left side, but then price moves up, right? That's why we can't just focus on, oh, okay, we see a sell imbalance, time to sell, and then, you know, this person gets their head ripped off. And so we were looking to see how price is reacting. Yeah, Sierra Chart Stom is nice. I like Sierra Chart Stom a lot. But what we're looking to see is how the price is reacting at these levels. And this is just like I tell you guys when we're trading crypto, I am doing this with a different way to look at order flow through that bid and ask volume profile, right? But that's, I mean, that's the basics of the DOM. The DOM is fairly simple. It just shows you the price. And so when you're looking at this, and some people trade with just the DOM, you're looking to see if these orders are refilling, right? It's going very slow right now. And so you can see the highlight white is where the price is actually at. So the price is on the bid right now. So we see it at 15, 12, 15, 25, it moves up. 25 refills. Now it's at 9. Price moved up. Boom, moved up. People jumped up to buy it, right? So we're seeing people move orders up to get filled. So that's showing us aggression. Yeah, the DOM on TradingView is shit as well. But it's showing us the aggression of these buyers to move up to buy the whatever it is, the instrument, the, you know, the crypto, the future, the stock, the option, whatever it is. We're seeing aggression, and this is how we track it. There is some programs like Sierra that will show you liquidity changes. So like right here, it'll show you like a -5 or like a +15, and that's just showing you that liquidity is moving up and adding size to these positions. It's nice because then you don't have to do a bunch of math in your head or try to remember it. It just can be right there. But honestly, you don't really need it, and sometimes it's a little bit too much. And, you know, like I always say, you want to be ready for stuff like this. You don't want to just start adding stuff to your charts because you think it looks cool, or you're not having success with the TPO, and so now you want to switch to the DOM or the footprint chart. Not that you won't be successful, it's just that sometimes what you can do is you can overwhelm yourself with extra tools, and you know, at that point you might as well just be, you know, looking at a some bullshit indicator that you paid $2,000 for. You know what I mean? If you have all this shit all over your charts. And so let's look at another way to look at order flow. So another way to look at order flow is through the TPO or the volume profile, right? Or both at the same time. And so let me zoom this in so we can get a nice close look at it. It's moving very slow because it's after hours, like I said. But we're looking to see how price reacts at our certain levels, right? And we see that in this area down here, there's some volume. And I mean, we could switch this to Delta, and if we switched it to Delta, it would show us whether it traded on the bid or the ask. Really not that important. We're just looking to see, as this little red pill bounces up and down, how it's going to react at that certain price. And if we come down to this level here and we see it bounce back up, well, then we know that somebody's buying it and pushing it up, right? We're putting in this poor high here. And so we're seeing it kind of bounce down and then push up, right? And there it goes. And so we can see, now we see the volume start to grow in this area. And so remember, it trades diagonally. So we're seeing these buyers move up to buy this, and it bounces up. And we came straight back down. This volume starts to fill in. So what do we know now? That it bounced up and bounced straight back down? That there's a seller right here. Right? And in order for us to continue up, we have to see some buying step in and continue moving the price up. And that's just, you know, that's the simplest way to look at it. And that's how I like to look at it. You know, you can look at the DOM, the footprint, all of those things, and they can be beneficial. But if, like I said, if you're adding too many things to your tool bag, it can become difficult to truly understand what's actually going on. And to understand what order flow is actually, what's actually happening with the order flow, you know, you really have to dig into the auction market theory. And then you have to understand that it is an auction. Hang on a second. And so you have to understand that it is an auction, right? And so it is a competitive auction between buyers and sellers. And so now that we're seeing, you look here, we're seeing this volume fill in, and you're looking to see where the red pill goes. And we follow that red pill around, and that red pill tells us if this is buyers or sellers. So now we move down. So that volume that filled in wasn't buyers. Bounces back up, bounces back down, right? And it's just searching for the fairest price, searching for value. And if we zoom out a bit, we can see, and I kind of have all these zones drawn from the trading room today. We see a single print down here below, but we see we're in yesterday's value or today's cash session value area. If you're on Sierra charts, I can send you a template, Young Cryptic. I have a template with it. It shows the numbers. It looks like this, kind of. But yeah, so what you're looking for here is right now you have our overnight session. So you have our structure here. We have the most volume here. Price has traded up. We got some more volume, traded back up, got some more volume, traded back up. And like I said, this is where the buyers have the position. So as the market auctions back down, this is where the buyers stepped in last time to take the price up. And that's where you will look to see if they're going to step in again. And while you're looking at that, you also take a peek at your order flow chart, and you're seeing these same prices, right? I don't have the bid and the ask line on because I just watched the red pill, but we can see right here there was a buyer that tried to step in at the top and wasn't able to push price up. So what does that let us know? That there's a seller up there, right? Selling passively on the bid. So someone said, hey, I've got 118 lots I want to sell. Who wants to buy them? I'm selling them for $4,446.50. If you want them, come and get them. And this guy said, I want them, and he bought them all, right? And then he shows up right here on our footprint chart. And then that was it. There was nobody below him. And how do we know that there's nobody below him? Well, we have our DOM. We see there's only 3 orders on the bid right here. And I know it's a bit confusing because on the DOM, buyers are on the left and sellers are on the right. But you have to think about how they trade, right? Sellers move over here to get in the market. Buyers move up over here to get in the market. That might be kind of hard to see because it's red, but buyers move over here to get in the market, right? And so that's why it's opposite when it goes onto the chart. That's why I said a lot of this stuff can get a bit confusing if you really don't know what you're doing. Is there a way to see the footprint on stocks? Yeah, you can definitely see order flow on stocks. And so what we're looking for here, as you know, as price is going, is you want to see if these buyers are coming up to fill this up, or if you want to see the sellers are coming down to refill these positions, right? So as it gets filled, so let's let's say we have 31 sellers here, right, and 31 buyers here. And so as they're auctioning in, so now we're down to 15. If you want to see if we're going to continue to go up, you want to see this 15 continue to go up, right? And so now it's going to 11, 12. So someone's just filling lots right here, just passively filling, boom, 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 clicking, 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 clicking to get in, right? So now price is going to continue to go up. And we have the high of the day marked in green right here. You can see they keep filling this number. They keep filling it. This guy's trying to sell. He can't fill. And so boom, price ticks up one tick. Now we watch this number again, see if they keep filling it. And this is just order flow, right? Like I said, there's many different ways to look at order flow. And, you know, these are a bit more complicated ways that you can use. I strongly recommend understanding the TPO first, because that's what's going to be your bread and butter. It's a lot more stressful, or a lot harder to understand when you're looking at this, to really kind of track these numbers, even on Sierra charts when it is giving you those plus minuses and everything like that. Right now the market's moving pretty slow, so it's a little bit easier, and it might be a little bit easier to track those numbers in the overnight session, but it's a tough task, right? It's kind of like you have to have that brain style to trade right on the DOM, and only from the DOM, right? There's people that trade just on the DOM. They don't trade with the chart. They don't use anything. And then you can see right there, we just ticked up, right? And you look on the footprint, we ticked up, just kind of like I was saying, and that was just because we were refilling the bid. Every time a buyer showed up, another buyer showed up. Every time a seller sold to a buyer showed up, buyer showed up, buyer showed up, and it kept getting in. So now we're seeing some selling come in, right? Aggressive selling. So we should see price continue to tick down. Now we're seeing these buyers that were buying here passively buy aggressively at the same level, right? So now we're seeing them come here. So we were going to watch the opposite side number. So we're going to watch this number here, it's 34, to see if it's going to refill. So it goes to 35, boom, it's at 25, 27. Price tick down one tick. It's at that 45.75 level. So it's at 30 now, 25, 9, 5, 6. So they're getting, look, 55. So they're loading it up, right? They're saying, all right, here, come get it. You guys can have it. We're selling this thing off, right? They're trying to hold it down basically with this kind of big order. For right now, 50s, you know, I mean, not a really huge order, but a decent sized order for right now. And you see, look, it jumps to 40, then it jumped to 47, 36, 40. So they're reloading it. And as soon as they stop reloading it, that's when you know that price is going to go. You have to have data for it, Christian. If you don't have the data for it, then you're not going to be able to see it. You have to pay for the data package to be able to see something like that. And if you don't have it, or you haven't paid for it, you're not going to be able to see it. And then another way, we're just kind of seeing this thing tick up, right? Like we said, these guys aren't refilling. They're at 24 now. We were at 44.75, and now the bid has moved up to that 44.75, 45.75. All right, now the ask is back there, 23. They're trying to load it, 29. Nothing's happening, 25. You know, it's pretty light volume after hours. You know, during the day, this goes a lot faster. It's a lot harder to follow during the day. And so another way that we can look at it as well is we can look at our 30-minute chart, our TPO chart, and we can add some statistics to it, right? And these are ways to track order flow. And so down here in this lower box, this top box is showing us delta, right? And delta, as I've explained, is the difference between buyers and sellers' aggression. So basically, this is saying for every seller that has come in, that in this bar, we have never gone negative. So as soon as this bar opened, more buyers have stepped in and bought or lifted the offer than sellers have sold the ask since this bar opened. And so our delta in this bar is positive 407 as of right now, right? When it was at its total, its max delta, its highest point was 465. So it's still fairly close to that point. And then we can see, like this bar here, you can see that at one point the delta was negative 161, the max delta was 888, and the delta when the bar finished was 804. So that tells you right off the bat that you know that sellers tried to get busy and get down here. And we see this 141 traded on the ask, and they tried to sell it. This is why I'm saying delta can try and trick you sometimes, because what's happening here is there's just one big buyer saying, hey, I'll buy all of this. And then, you know, we go back to the DOM, right? And there's just a big buyer sitting right here, and he's just buying it all up until these sellers get exhausted. He fills everyone at the 46, and then the 46 quarter jumps down. He fills everybody there, and then he just keeps moving up and let everybody fill off of him, and then just boom, 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 moves up. And then these sellers realize that, they move away, and then you see this move to the upside, right? Also in order flow, when you're watching order flow, you'll see what's called a delta divergence. And that's going to be represented by this. So you see our delta finishes at negative 219, max delta negative 236, or max delta was 181, min delta negative 236, but the bar went up, right? Well, how can that happen if there's negative delta, right? Because negative delta means there's more sellers than buyers.
New big
Wrong.
Trade.
And that's a big common misconception that people get confused about, because what delta is actually showing us is the difference between buyers and sellers' aggression, not between who there is more of, but just who's being more aggressive. And a lot of times, yeah, aggression is gonna play out in the favor of who's being more aggressive when there's more supply or when there's more demand. But you know, we have to understand that auction market theory, and with that auction market theory, we know that you're basing it, or they're basing it off of a fair price. And so if they get to a price and they're not, an auction just continues to go down, or it stops, you'll start to see the auction move in the other way, because it's going to liquidity, right? So if there's a bunch of buyers, let's say, sitting down here, and you're not finding any buyers up here, well, the market will auction down until it gets close to these buyers and see if these buyers want to step up. If these buyers keep moving their bids away, well, price will keep auctioning down until it finds a buyer that's going to step up and start bidding the market back up, right? And then the same thing with the sellers. The seller's trying to sell here. He starts moving away because he sees price moving up, sees these buyers coming in. Then he decides, okay, I like this spot up here to sell. I'll sell it. And then you start to see structure get put in when we're getting this fair market value, right? And then we get this, you get this excess put in, then you get some imbalance, and then we start to just rotate to the upside here. And you can see it on a more micro version, looking at the point and figure chart. Not exactly, you know, perfect structure, but it is kind of nice how it forms. We know this is a buy spot, so what I like to do is see if we can catch a breakout of the order flow. Look for it to pull back. Right here, it didn't pull back at all, so you wouldn't have been able to get on that pullback. But when we saw these buyers come in here, that's where you could look to get long. traded up. You see a buy imbalance at the top, but you don't see any price continuation. And so that's, you know, kind of just like the delta divergence that you're seeing on some of these charts. Like in this bar here, we saw, or was this bar here? We saw negative delta, but price didn't continue to go down, right? It should have gone down. If the selling was that much more than the buying, then we should see some downward pressure, right? But we didn't. And that's, you know, that's something that you need to pay attention to. Another way to look at order flow is through a market history depth map, right? And this might look familiar. A lot of people say this kind of looks like bookmap, right? But bookmap by itself, I think is worthless. That's just my opinion. Unless you know what you're doing. And most people using bookmap are not just using bookmap. Even if they say they are, they're probably getting paid to say that, in my opinion. And, you know, that's just probably the truth, right? They're not just using that. They've got a chart up. They've got something up that they're looking at in order to decide what's a good spot to get in. They're not just getting in based off of these buys and sells. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My kids are getting a little bit wild. And so basically what this is showing you the depth of the market, right? And so these are orders that have not yet traded. So you're seeing right here, you have a 225 lot order, 190 lot order, you have a 100 lot order. And so this shows you that this 190 lot order, see how it's kind of highlighted in bright white and it's been there for a while, that person's been sitting there for a while looking to sell that level, being patient, waiting for it to come up to that level. You can see this 226 moved down, it looks like. And the way that you're looking at this, the way that you can actually make this information useful is you're looking to see buyers moving up or sellers moving down, right? You're not going to be able to, I mean, I strongly disbelieve anyone that just uses bookmap to trade is profitable. Hey Odin, what's up, man? But we can see here when price dipped down, so this is the bid and the ask, right? The ask is the red, the bid is the green. Price dipped down and you see these people kind of disappear. Price pops up, you see this bid pop in, price comes down, disappears. And as price is going up, these people move their buys up, right? And this is the auction going on. People saying, oh, I kind of want to buy in here. And we can look at this. I can adjust this so you can see a bit more of it. So if we look at, looks kind of bright right there, but I mean, it'll show like pretty much every order. And so you can kind of see where these buyers and sellers are getting busy. So you can see that right here, especially, there was this big seller looking to sell this level. They got filled, but you didn't see any of these other big sellers move down to try to hold price down or push price down. So there's no supply right here. You are seeing, if you look, if I erase this, right, we're seeing some of this light gray kind of move up, and you're seeing dark space here. So we're seeing more buyers move up sellers move away and price moves up, right? Don't get too excited, Chirp. I mean, it is cool, but it's not as useful as it's explained on the internet. You can't just use it. The best way to use it, and the way that I use it, is like this, and we're just tracking the big orders, right? Because those are the orders that matter. Someone who's got a 191 lot order, a 208 lot order, those are the orders that actually matter, because those are the orders that are going to move the market, right? My little, 5 lot trade, 10 lot trade, that's not really going to move the market. But these 100 lot trades, these, especially after hours, these can move the market. Just like my Bitcoin trades, they're not moving the market, which is why I'm not trying to move the market, right? I'm not trying to be like, you guys never really hear me predict anything. I can say, I can see this happening, or I think this might happen if this happens. But I can't tell you for certainty that something's going to go a certain way, because I don't have that kind of leverage to be able to push it whichever way I want it to go, right? If we look at the DOM right here, we just add this up: 11, 38, 51, 51, 37, 67, 56. So we're looking at about 250 lots right here. If I just put a buy order of 250 lots, I can move price from here to here, right? Looks like I just got in a gold trade. Oops. So, and that's something that if I was buying 250 lots, that I could do, right? I'm not buying 250 lots. That's a rich man's game there. Yeah, I'm trying to mess with this gold trade real quick. Okay. Market structure. All right, cool. See. And so this is just another way to be able to look at the volume, right? And you guys see over here the same thing that we use on EXO charts and on crypto, the bid ask profile, right? This is what I like to look at. This is how I like to track volume. Everyone has their own no, I went long. I went long just now at 1793.4, already up. Yeah, 1793.4, I went long right there. Looking for 1795 maybe. Maybe 1794.3. Maybe just take 10 points. I don't know. It looks like it wants to go, so I'm gonna let it roll for a little bit. And so this is another way to track and watch order flow. Right, but everything is gonna come back. What the fuck is going on with this thing? Everything is gonna come back to the basics, right? And that's gonna be our TPO profile. Because our TPO profile is going to tell us everything that we need to know, right? Because order flow is not going to tell you if there's a poor high, right? Our TPO profile is, and we're using this in conjunction with order flow in order to tell us where we want to get a position at. Okay, let me see. Chirpy said, is value decided purely psychologically when buyers or sellers decide that a price is good enough for their purposes? Yeah, I mean, it is psychological, because you got to think about most of the trading that's going on is done by humans. And we, the psychology behind trading affects everybody. It doesn't just affect us retail traders. Look, and there's price going up, right? Just like we said, because the sellers could not get the price back down when they came back down to this 44.50, we auctioned up, right? And that's because there's no real selling. So buyers just buy it up, and they've got to go find some more. There's more buyers in here, and they're going to find some sellers up top, right? They're going to run into some sellers up here at 49, it looks like, maybe at 48. What the fuck was that? That was, oh, it was bonds, DB. Now I know. Okay. Gold trade sitting at flush. All right, so that's basically a down and dirty basic intro to order flow. These are no, it makes that noise when I put on a position. Can you hear that little, that like change noise? That means I'm putting a position on. And so that lets you know kind of the behind the scenes, or what's going on, or what you're thinking about doing, things of that nature. The simplest form, and you know what I like to use the most, is to watch price and how it acts at certain levels. So let me pull up EXO charts. We're getting that gray box on the right side. Okay. So we're seeing some buyers tried to come in on Bitcoin. They're kind of struggling up here at the top of structure, right? And if you really want to get, you know, real zoomed in, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because you can zoom out and you can see your profile. You can see where it's at. Right now we had this big excess spike down to the bottom. We saw an auction get completed. We have a pretty big excess down here. So that lets you know that probably that they just brought this auction down, decided, okay, you know what? I'm not selling you anything down here. If you want to sell, if you want to buy something, you're going to have to come back up here and buy it, right? So the price auctions back up, and then we start to see some rotations again back inside of our value area, right? And this is where the psychology comes in, because we know how much time that it's spent at this level within this structure, that's a fair price. So when you buy or sell something in that area, you feel like you're getting a good deal, right? A good way to think about it is when you go to Walmart on Black Friday, if you're in the United States, and then you see something on sale, right? And it's $300 off, and you're like, damn, that's a good deal. I need it, right? And you buy it because you think that it's a good deal, right? When in reality, it might not be worth that $300. Or what might have just happened is they auctioned it back up to that price to sell it to you here, and you're going to buy it because it's $300 off, and then they're going to just hammer it back down, right? And now you're going to be sitting thinking, fuck, I could have just waited. They just they marked the TV up, and then Black Friday came around, they marked it down, and I bought it like a sucker, right? And that's exactly what they do, because that's how markets work, right? And if you feel like you're not getting enough information from, you're not seeing the matrix, you're not seeing this line bounce, put it on a 10 tick, right? And your profile will start to look really ugly because it's super thin, but you can watch this line and you can watch it bounce around more, right? Oh, this is ETH right here, actually, but you can watch it kind of bounce around. Let's look at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin will bounce around a little bit more than ETH does. Let's change it to a 10 tick. Right, we'll really see this thing start to rock. See, and you can see it move ever so slightly, right? See how it's just moving, ticking up and down, ticking up and down. You're watching these numbers, right? Because they're so big, you know, you're going to see it move, but you're not going to see these numbers change. Boom, goes down. Boom, goes down, right? Big seller coming in. So where did he come in from? Where did you see price drop from? We saw it drop from here. So if you can't remember that, mark it. Like, okay, this is where that big seller came in last time. Let's see when price auctions back up there, if that seller comes in again and smacks the price down and drops a bunch of supply into the market. I expand it out sometimes if we're getting into some excess, right? So like when we had this big fall earlier, which we caught live. If you're in the Discord or if you're new, I posted this trade on Bitcoin and ETH hours before it happened, and it's purely based off of structure, right? It's not based off of any fucking magical green dots or red dots or bullshit stuff, right? Just based on structure. We saw that we failed to go to the upside, came back down into structure, broke the bottom of structure, and boom, we hit the short. That's simple as that, right? We're putting in value down here, value area, right? We're trading pretty much sideways, a little bit of range back and forth. I'm still holding the Bitcoin and ETH short. You know, if we close these single prints, that's probably when I'll decide that enough is enough and close it out, right? I've taken most of my profit, added some more before we got on stream when this thing popped up, couldn't fill the singles, took some more profit when we broke this value area low. Kind of here we are now, just trading sideways. So, you know, this is the great thing. And so like, as we're coming down right here, right, I want to see as we're bidding up, if we're going to run into some resistance. So yeah, just pop over here, you know, long story short to answer your question, and just smack that bad boy on 2 days so I can see just the previous session. And we can see as it gets up through these single prints, obviously it's going to be pretty thin, and we're not seeing any real volume if we just kind of squeeze this thing down until we get back into structure. Right, and that's, you know, that's what structure is all about. Makes sense, right? Comes up, we get a little bit of excess, right? And we have excess, imbalance, value. We confirm value by volume. We get some excess on this new structure, right? If you could break these up, that would be ideal, but you can't. We get some excess, trade back down into structure, come down, retest structure, hold below it, and then sell off, right? So we get excess, imbalance, value, right? We confirm value with volume, and we really, I mean, we got a little bit of excess on the upside. We've got some good excess on the downside right here. And so we're just watching these rotations, and eventually the market's going to decide to go in either direction, right? And we'll be prepared for either way, and we'll be watching. And what we're going to do is we'll look for our levels or our setups based off of order flow, right? And this is where that order flow is coming in. I was talking with somebody earlier, I think it was Trade for Fun. He posted something about how Jim Dalton says that he doesn't really use order flow, and I believe him. He doesn't. He's old school. But if you have the opportunity to use something like this, like a volume profile, and I'm pretty sure he does use a volume profile because he trades on Window Trader, and I've seen Peter Resnicek trades on Window Trader as well, and he's using a volume profile. But that's order flow, right? Just a different way to look at the same information. That's all it is. It's the same information, just displayed in different ways, right? But that is basically it, guys. I just wanted to get on and kind of give you guys a down and dirty on order flow, you know, and I appreciate all of you guys showing up and saying what's up. And you know, this is these are the things that you start to add to your tool belt once you start to understand our cycle of value, balance, excess, and imbalance, and how this cycle just repeats itself over and over. And that's how we you know, keep taking these trades, right? I've been doing some tallying of a lot of these trades, and you know, it's been going pretty well for the most part, especially on crypto. You know, so, and if you guys are interested, I don't know who's all in here, if we have any new members or new people that haven't been in here, definitely jump in the chat and say what's up. You know, we always like to meet new people. If you came over and you were using Market Cipher and I hurt your feelings, you know, I'm sorry, that I just can't help it, right? I want everybody to get good information, you know, so it just sometimes comes out of me in that way, I guess, right? And so look, we saw price go back up to our level, sell back down, right? So you mark that level, you see that price where that jumps down. And so if you are new, you know, say what's up, scroll down on the video, you'll see a link to the Discord. I think it is, it's down a little ways. It's labeled so you can see Discord, and then click on that, join the Discord. Does excess always retest? No, not always. Matthew, I think you're new. I've never seen your name on there before. We'll look at this. We're starting to get real short here. I don't always wait for a retest. No, sometimes there is no time for a retest. Are you new, Matthew? I don't think I've ever seen your name in the chat before. If you are new, welcome. No, so sometimes you're getting excess, like right here we got the retest, right? But over here before we got this excess, there wasn't really a retest. We just hit the imbalance and continued back down into structure. We hit the excess, came back down. You know, so it's definitely just takes time, really. And I know it's kind of almost annoying to hear that. And I definitely understand that, because when I was first getting into this, you know, that's what, you know, the professionals were telling me, is that it's going to take time. You just have to, you got to watch the chart. You'll start to see how things act. That's why I recommend, you know, if you're trading something, trade one thing. If you have a smaller account, don't trade Bitcoin. It's a waste of time, waste of money. Trade ETH. It's easier. ETH legit is easier to trade, right? Or trade, another thing that we've been watching lately is Litecoin. Litecoin is easy to trade because it's not as wicky, and it trades based off of structure. You'll see it, you know, we have structure here, and this, I mean, this structure basically just tests down, structure here, right? It just is a little bit easier to trade, right? I got into the market first with options. I started looking at options, and then of course, you know, just pretty much like everybody else in the United States, you run into the issues of the pattern day trade rule, right? Where you can't trade more than 3 times in and out in the same day in a 5-day period unless you have $25,000 in your account. And so I started looking at other options. I found futures relatively quickly. and then, you know, just kind of fell in love with how it works, started studying the order flow. I really enjoyed the aspect of the TPO and how you just, if you're patient enough, you can be successful. Like you guys saw today, for those of you guys that were in the live trade room, I really didn't take very many trades today, right? Still finished pretty profitable at the end of the trading session, but I was just super patient and just waited. Yeah, crypto digs. I did mark one while we were in here. Um, so as we were sitting here, we saw a big seller come in right here at this 44,864, and then I marked that level. And that, I mean, on EXO charts, that's pretty much all you can do is mark with horizontal lines, right? On NinjaTrader, you can make zones and stuff. So like if you look at my NinjaTrader chart, you see like I put my little battle zones. I have red for resistance zones. This red line today, this 44 quarter. For those of you guys that were in the live trade room, I mean, it's on record, but I was saying if we get below this 44 quarter, we're going to sell off pretty big. And you know, we did we did sell off pretty big. It was pretty cool to watch and trade. And we got onto the Zoom and we traded a couple. At least I traded a couple. Hey, Progressive Marching, man. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. My those are for you, bro. Thank you. But yeah, I've been doing this full time for about 3 years. I've been going at this you know, for over 10 years now. So I'm new at trading and switch from Bitcoin to Ethereum, much easier. Yeah. Oh yeah, and bigger profits too, because you're not looking, or you're not having to get, you know, these huge moves, right? When you're trading like ETH or something like that, and it was one of our members, TJ, that said, he kind of put it into the stratosphere with us, that if you get in on an ETH trade and you get in on a 5x and it goes up $10, well, that's 1%, right? And a 1% move doesn't seem like much when, let's say, you have a $100 account, but when you have when you're making these trades, and this is kind of the way that I was explaining it to somebody else, if you're making, let's say you're making this trade here on ETH, right? You're deciding that you're going to get short from this F period, which is at 309, and you're just going to go 32998, right? A $10 move, 1%, a 1% move, right? Or 1% for your account. And so what you're looking for after this happens is, the only difference is you're trading 5x, right, with $100, only looking for 1%. But now you've done this for a year and your account is at $10,000, right? Let's say, or that's where your risk tolerance is at. You're still using 5x and you're still capturing this 1% move. But now you're getting 1% of $10,000 instead of 100. So you're doing the exact same thing. The only difference is the size of your position, right? A lot of people, they want to make money now, right? That's not the game that I am in. I've never expressed to anybody like, hey, TPO is going to get you rich quick. I've actually said it's going to get you rich slow, as long as you can be patient and consistent. And that's the whole point of it, is you don't have to worry about, you know, oh, I need to catch this, you know, 5,000 point move in order to make any money, and I got to sell the tops and buy the bottoms, sell tops again, buy the bottoms, and you're always looking, you know, as soon as you get out of a trade, you get in a trade, and the same thing, as soon as you get out of a trade, you get in another trade, and it's like, well, you know, fuck, that's exhausting mentally, right? You can't continue on like that. not for an extended period of time without making some mistakes. So if you just wait for your one setup, right? Like we've taken, we took a couple of trades in the live trade room, but after the live trade room, I shorted sushi, I shorted ETH, and I shorted Bitcoin, and that's it. So just those 3 trades besides the live trade room. I don't know what just happened to everything got all small. I kind of like it like that though. Oh, actually, that doesn't really matter. Fix it, I'm sure. But yeah, it's exhausting. It's exhausting just trying to figure all this shit out, right? But instead, you're just looking at this and you're seeing, okay, here's structure, and then tighten up that structure a little bit and just set an alert. Go on, set an alert somewhere and be like, you know what? When it gets to this level, I'm gonna start thinking about it, right? When we start getting some buyers up here above this 30, 48, 30, 50 level, start getting into some of this excess, I'm gonna start thinking about it, start qualifying my long trade right here. But until then, I'm not just gonna sit here and watch this chart, right? It's exhausting. And a lot of times when you're sitting and just watching a chart, you're thinking about trading. And so if you're getting your chart time in, and I don't know why this got all small. I don't know what I did. Anybody know how to help? Some computer shit, I'm sure. But the best thing that you can do is to watch the chart and just see how it reacts and find that coin or that index or whatever it is that you like to trade, and become a subject matter expert on that one thing, right? So if you are killing ETH, I don't think it was tick size, because tick size is still on 20. Oh, see how like the text got small? I don't know what I did. Yeah, I tried refreshing it too. You've been in your 8th trade since the beginning of August. 200 is now 800. That's enough for me. Just need to practice taking profits. Yeah, exactly. You just oh, maybe. There we go. Genius. Alex is always there to help me when I'm making Windows mistakes. There we go. You guys are all on it. I'm not a computer expert. Only thing I'm good with is, well, I'm good with a lot of stuff, I guess, but not when it comes to stuff like that. Yeah, I fixed it. Thank you, guys. We can really zoom in. Just kidding. Let's go to 100. There we go. So that's something to think about. And so if you're just sitting here watching the chart, right, and you're not trading, one, make sure your trading platform is not open. That's the first step. Second is make sure that you're able to stay, focused on what's going on, and then just start marking levels, right? So let's say you're here, let's say you're reading something, or maybe you're watching Netflix, right? If you can multitask. I like to watch stuff on YouTube, stuff that I haven't seen before. A lot of informational stuff, a lot of psychology stuff. Find something cool, and then I look and I'm like, okay, so there's some good selling volume here. We're on ETH, so I want to change this to a 5 tick because I'm really zooming in right here, right? I want to really watch this thing. I want to find my levels really deep in, and I'm just focused on this bar. So we see these sellers here, and so we see the buyer here. We want to see if a big seller is going to come in and push this price down, and we'll know this is a solid level, right? And so then you just kind of sit and wait. You're like, You're seeing it pop up. You're seeing some buyers. Pops back down. So we saw a seller. Now we're going to see if these sellers can come in to keep pushing the price to the downside. Oh yeah, Suits is so good. I love Suits. See how it ticks down one tick? Start to see this selling increase right here. And we want to see it flush. So once it gets back below this, should see some more sellers pile on and push, boom, and there it is. And so now we're going to mark that level because that's where they came in at. And so now they're back down here. We can move our chart up a little bit so we can give ourselves some room. And now we'll watch this level back up to our level, right? So these sellers down here, and you can change the colors of these sellers down here, we can mark them in, you know, whatever color we want to mark them in. And look at price just trades on through. We know those sellers disappeared. And look at that. You're seeing some buyers show up in this area. So now you can flip this level, because that's where the buyers showed up at. And, you know, mark your buyers. I like to mark my buyers in green. We start to see that's where some strong buying showed up at. Boom. See that drop? Mark that top level, put it in red, and we know that there is a seller right here. And if we can get past this seller, then we can start moving up. Oh yeah, Billions is really good too. Right? And where are we looking to get up to? Well, you just have to kind of look at your profile to see where sellers and buyers came in last time. Came back up to that level. Sellers kind of smacked it down. So now we're getting pretty tight in here. We zoom out a little bit. Right? That new bar just opened. Oh, okay. That's why that happened. So I think that was maybe a breath take, a little profit taking or something like that. Oh. And we'll see as price gets back down to this level where it's at right now, are these buyers going to step in? Nope, they don't. So we come right back down to our level originally where we saw sellers not come in, right? Or where we saw people start to take profit, and we're looking for them to come back in. So now we know that this line can just go away because those people at that level is not very strong, right? We just kind of traded through it a bunch of times and now we keep going. And this is just how you're watching the order flow. And right here, let's see if there's enough supply in the market. We'll watch here. We should run these stops. And then we'll mark our impulse zone or our battle zone, which would be from here. And if we mark our battle zone in blue, boom, there's those stops getting ran. Oof, there's some good supply. And it comes right down to the low of F, doesn't go. And we know there's a buyer sitting here. So we'll mark him. And this is just, you know, I'm doing this stuff mostly in my head. I'm not marking this stuff. But while you're practicing, you want to, and look at it, just trades right through. Look at that. Big buyer showed up. Big buyer showed up down there. There's some buying down here on ETH, guys. And then there's a big seller trying to smack it back down. Big fight right here. And remember, we're zoomed in pretty far. But so this lets you kind of see more of the order flow, because normally we're looking at this chart and it's on a 20 tick chart, right? We're looking at it like this. And so we're thinking, it's not really moving that much, right? A little bit. Okay, there's some buyers, little pop up, but we're not really moving it that much. But when you're learning or getting your chart time in, zoom out a little bit, or zoom in a little bit. I mean, if you want to, and that's when you can start to mark those levels out. And then when you go to bed the next day, make sure you click Save Template, because if you don't, yeah, I've given up on GoCharting for now, Magic Man. Until they get their desktop platform, then I might jump back on them. But until then, I'm just gonna chill off them. But remember that big seller was up here, and this lets us see, you know, kind of where the position was at. And so if these buyers get on the backside of this sell position, you should see some initiated buying come in, and they'll look to push it up probably to this 30-34 level. But what you can do is mark these zones, right? If we're zoomed all the way in, we had this zone here as our battle zone, as a blue level, right? And we are kind of seeing a little battle go on up here. But I don't know if I'd mark it. We know there's a buyer, and let's say, you know what, it's bedtime, right? Yeah, I'd mark this level. That's another seller just came in right there. Mark it with a blue and a red. And all right, JJ, have a good night. And you say, it's bedtime, it's almost 9 o'clock, I gotta get to bed, I gotta get some sleep in the morning, got some live trading to do in the morning, I'm out. And you mark your zones, and then when you get up in the morning, you turn on the computer, you look at your TPO, and look to see how it acted in your zones. And sometimes you'll start to see, you know, when it trades just perfectly, you're just like, damn, my zones are starting to make sense and they're starting to work. And you're not having to risk money to find out if they work or not, right? Like the line we drew on Sunday, we drew this line, this diagonal used to be support, but then turned into resistance. We bounced off of it, right? Finally broke through it and held. We retested it and then sold off, right? This is where we decided to get short. And the reason was because here's our support, our horizontal support level. Yeah, Suits is free with Amazon Prime. Yeah, it's a dope ass show. We saw a big volume come in, and then it pushes us down. Now we're seeing a little bit of buying come in on Bitcoin here, but you know, we're still down, you know, for the most part, and we're just putting in value down here. And this is all, you know, it all comes back to the order flow, right? Watching the order flow. And the order flow is through this. Is Billions free on there? I don't know if, oh, it might be, because the new season of Billions starts again on September 9th or 7th or something like that. 5th, I don't know, sometime in September. But yeah, so that's so they're coming up. So when they get up like 2 more ticks up to this 25.50 level, we should start to see some more buying come in, because we're on top of this level now. And let me zoom it back out so you can see the 20 tick, because that's where we were looking at it before, right? So as we get up to this 25.50, 26 level, should see some buyers come in, and like I said, probably push to test this 35, 34 level. That's where they'll look up. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to jump on. I had a lot of requests for order flow. I haven't got to stream on YouTube as much lately. Like I said, my main focus is getting all of the people that signed up for the boot camp or the live trade room to become, you know, a break-even trader or close to a break-even trader by the end of the year. Understanding that that goal is a lofty goal, right? Typically, most traders are, you know, to that break-even within the 1 to 2 year mark. But, you know, if you don't shoot for the, you know, if you don't shoot for the stars, you'll never land on the moon. I think that's an Eminem quote. You know, that's kind of something that, you know, I like to think about. And we're seeing it. I'm getting to watch it live in the live trade room and watch these risk managers make consistent gains over time. Since we started the live trade room about 3 weeks ago now, well, we finished over 50% every single day, but we've only had one day under 70%. And I know what you're thinking. Maybe a lot of YouTubers are saying that they're 90% successful or 95% successful, or whatever kind of crap that they're kind of pushing out, right? But what you have to think about is think about realistically what it is, right? And for me to see you guys get to that point where you're hitting, you know, today we were at like 87% or something crazy like that, you know, that's amazing. And I mean, it's only, you know, the sky's the limit from here. And I will give give a not really like a warning, but kind of just like a heads up to make sure you don't get a big head, right? You win a couple trades in a row, you win 5 trades in a row, 10 trades in a row, 20 trades in a row. It only takes one loss that you mismanage to wipe out all 20 of those gains, right? As you guys saw today, I think I traded about 50% on my long trades. I traded about 75% on my short trades. Finished profitable. You don't need to have 100% win rate as long as you're managing risk. And that's what we're in the business of here, is managing risk. We consider ourselves risk managers, not traders per se. Yes, we do make trades, but our key goal is to manage risk along the way. And without managing that risk, you know, you're just going to have a terrible fucking time trading. And if you can't manage risk and you just want to gamble, well, you might as well just go to the casino, because it's going to be more fun and less stressful. And at least you can drink while you're doing it, you know? So, yeah, I appreciate all the kind words, guys. Definitely. Yeah, glad to see that you're being consistent. Yeah, Alex, and that's the thing, is like you don't need to. And I was actually talking about you with somebody here the other day, someone like in person, because I really like what you're doing, because you're using very small size, but you understand the process, right? You know, you've heard the trust the process, right? And a lot of people are like, I can't do sim, it's not real money. Well, a lot of people's issue is not that they can't do sim, is they can't do anything like that. Like the other day, Alex made like 75 cents or something like that, right? But the difference is, if he would size up on that position, that 75 cents would turn into $75. But he understands the process of getting through this and how it's going to work. And the only difference is your position size. You're going to make the same trade. So if you can consistently make these same trades where you're making 75 cents every single trade, or most of your trades, it's the same exact trade that you're going to trade. You're just going to use bigger size. So there's no need to try to capture all of these things. And I know the biggest thing that I hear is that it can't be this easy. There's no way it's this simple. It's impossible to be like this. But it really is that, you know, people complicate things on purpose, one, to try to confuse you and to try to give you a easy way to do it, right? But the thing is like we've explained it, and like I've explained it a ways before, is you've got to learn how to build a house with a hammer and nails before you're going to start using a nail gun, right? And everyone wants to build a house, but they want a tractor, or they want a crane, or they want something like that. And, you know, they don't even have the instructions or the foundation. They completely forget about all of these things. And you saw it live the other day, and that's kind of why I've been diving so deep into this and almost like harping on you guys. And I kind of feel bad, but watching a certain somebody's stream the other day, and them calling themselves a trader and leading thousands of people to trade, and not understanding a fundamental of trading, like what a moving average is, and the difference between, you know, certain things, and, you know, having them is just irresponsible. You know what I mean? It was frustrating, to say the least. I wasn't a huge fan of watching that. It angered me. I felt like you guys were deceived, and I'm not a huge fan of that. But you know, that's what you guys have got to focus on it, and that's what I'm you know, focusing on right now, is focusing on building you guys up as much as I can from the foundation. And like I said, my I don't know the word to say, or how the word is said. My aspiration is to see you guys get better than me, right? If one of you guys gets better than me, I'm not that type of person that's like, oh, well, I showed him everything he did, blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't take credit for any of your guys' stuff, because it's you guys that are doing it, right? Like I said, I can only show you the door, you have to walk through it. You know, that's it. And it takes a lot more effort to walk through the door than to be shown the door. So, and I know kind of went on a little a little tangent there, but you know, I just kind of got in the zone, and sometimes when I get in the zone, I just go. So, but yeah, I hope you guys had a good time tonight learning about the order flow. I hope it was beneficial. And, you know, as we progress a little bit forward, we'll talk about things that we can do in the live trade room to maybe help. I know a lot of people are not really, or they feel like maybe they're not getting anything from the footprint chart because it's on the 30-minute chart and they're having trouble reading it. But now that we're looking at it and we're just looking at to see the bounces at the certain levels, we don't really care about the numbers, right? The numbers are really not that important. What's important is the way that it moves, right? And sorry, I was looking at the chart real quick. You know, and so that's what we'll focus on going forward. But other than that, if you guys don't have any more questions, I'll give you guys like a couple minutes for questions if you guys want to ask any questions. It doesn't have to be related to order flow, anything. And if not, we'll just pop off and you know, maybe turn in early, or maybe I'll hop on a little bit of Call of Duty for a little bit, and you know, kill some terrorists. But if you guys have any questions, just type them in the chat and I will make sure I answer them. Awesome, Crypto Digs. Thank you, man. Glad you enjoyed it. And if you guys have friends that are struggling, invite them to the Discord, right? Don't try to be like, hey, you should do the boot camp, because a lot of people, when you try to offer them something that they have to pay for, you know, immediately they just shut off, right? But just invite them to the boot camp, or but I just said what I didn't say. Invite them to the Discord and be like, hey man, just come check it out. Come check out some of the streams, just come kick it and, you know, see what's up. And, you know, maybe they learn some things that they didn't know. Maybe whoever they were following, you know, wasn't giving them what they are doing. Maybe at some point, could you do a Ninja demo, maybe in Simo, just to show how you manage putting in and getting out of trades in Ninja? Oh yeah, we could do that. We could do that right now, bro. The live chat. Okay, so here we go. So I manage all of my trades through the DOM. Where the fuck is it? There it is. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so here's our DOM. Let's switch it to the sim. That way we're not making any bad trades. Right there. Oh, this is okay. So give you a little bit of insight on what my other screen is looking like. It's looking like this. All right, so I can see the 30-minute, I can see my point and figure. And so we watch the order flow. And so right here, as you can see on NinjaTrader, I have an ATM strategy and we click edit. And so this one has a 7-tick stop loss and an 8-tick take profit, right? This is just generic because I basically just adjust them as soon as I get in the position for the most part. But so let's see what we're getting at. So we're seeing some selling come in here at the top. We got this poor high. We're seeing it trade down. We saw some sellers come in here. We had this push down. And so what I'd like to do maybe is fill a position at 47.75. So I'll come over here to the DOM. I'll click here. It's going to be a limit. It's going to be based off of my ATM strategy, right? I'm looking here on my 30-minute footprint to see if we have any aggressive selling. We had some aggressive selling come in up here at this 48 level. We have some trapped buyers up here, it looks like. And, you know, that's the definition of our poor high. Some people bought the top, they got stuck up there, you know, and now we try to see if we can get some more selling coming in. We'll see if we pop up. If we don't pop up, we might try to fill at this 47.25. It looks like that might be a decent spot to fill. Also, let's try this just to get in the position, right? We can get filled. And you can see the APQ basically tells you what position in line you're in. See our volume profile. So we have 2 lonely buyers up there. And once this fills, it'll show you your P&L. So right here, see if we get filled. So we get filled. You hear the little ding of a position getting filled. And this is, so we want to put our stop loss at 48.50. I'm going to move my stop loss to 48.50 because if we trade above this, I don't want to be in the position anymore, right? And I have my take profit at 8 ticks, right? So 2 points was going to be $100. And so from here, I'm just managing, right? We're moving very slow because it's after hours, and after hours is going to move very slow. And you can see it's flat in the position. It tells you it's going to display the points here, but you could change it if you wanted to display something else. And so a good target would be to target maybe this 46.25, right? So we were shorting for 2 points because it's after hours. We know there's less volume. We're going to shoot for this 46.25, right? And then maybe we'll look to fill another position here. If it's possible to get filled on this 47.75. We'll look to try to fill one more. All right, let's see if we can get filled. It looks like some buyers. Honestly, this thing kind of looks like it might go up, but you know, we're just doing this for instruction purposes here. So still trying to get the footprint thing figured out on Quant Tower, but at least I got the DOM up. Yeah, the footprint, you're just gonna look at cluster charts, Mad Cats. So that too. Yeah, it's just super slow after hours. So, when you're looking at, and you can't do, I guess you can do the reversals. Just let it connect. But here's Quant Tower. And so we see we're back to basically trading. We're flat, we're at 0. So it'll display our profit and loss in this spot right here. You can change it to ticks, to dollars, to percentage, to whatever you want. I just like it to display that way. So we're seeing, let's see if it gets filled here. Oh, still not. But yeah, this is this is the cluster chart on Quant Tower right here. Same idea. This is not a point and figure chart, but this is a reversal, a 5 reversal chart. So it's pretty similar, it looks like. Not exactly the same, but pretty close, it looks like. And so basically the way to create this, just click on the settings. Under view, you've got to make sure you go down here and it has to say show volume analysis toolbar. Click on that. You're going to click on this first one. It's going to say cluster, enable it, turn it to imbalance, and then just change the time to whatever you want. If you want 5-minute bars, if you want 1-minute bars, depending upon what you want. All right, long and short, we'll see you later, bro. Yeah, so this is how you set up the footprint chart on Quant Tower. How do you find certain position size that you found to be comfortable with, or do you do different sizes? Yeah, so it depends on a couple of things, Otto. It depends on the volatility, so how much something's moving. It's going to depend on the volume of the day, the time of the day, right? I obviously don't want, if there's no volume going throughout this time of day that we're in, then I don't want to be tossing on this gigantic size, because if some big volume comes in, it can just kind of smash me up, right? Kumar, which tool are you talking about here? Ah, my yeah. Thanks. I just saw all your guys' comments. Thank you. Hell yeah, bearish bull. Mad Cats, does this help? I can send you the template to this as well if you want. And then you can mess with the colors and get rid of the grid lines and all that shit. I was just messing with Quant Tower today. Trying to get like a decent setup. I do like Quant Tower just because it's modular, so you can kind of like, kind of just toss all of this stuff together. Here's the DOM. See how we get these numbers of liquidity changes on the DOM for Quant Tower, so that's kind of nice. It does have a little heat map thing. I feel like it's worthless, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I like the one on NinjaTrader better. And then, this is just the TPO. It's just way up here. So what you don't like about GoChart? I thought I had desktop online. Yeah, I'll send it to you, bro. It hasn't launched their online spot yet. So there's that second order got filled, so we'll grab our stop. We're keeping a nice tight stop, right? If we get buyers here and we bust that up, we're managing risk. So on this lot right here, we're only taking 1, 2, 3 lots of risk, but we're looking for 8 ticks of profit. So pretty good risk to reward. We're over a 2-to-1 there. To be honest, it doesn't look good, but it is after hours, so we'll kind of see. Sellers are kind of holding that level up there, so yeah, I hate that when you switch on GoCharts and you still have to do it on Quant Tower. When you switch charts, you have to switch ticks, and that's a pain in my ass. I'm not a huge fan of that at all. I do not like it, Sam. I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. Right, and you can see we're up 2 ticks now. $37.50. So we'll see. We said we want to take one off at 46.25. And why do we want to take one off at 46.25? Because what do we do here? We sell into strength, and we know that there's stop losses below this M period, and that they're going to defend that position, right? So we're just going to be like, hey, you want to defend it? You can have mine. Take it. and we'll just get rid of it, right? You know, and that's what we've been looking to do. You've been getting lost with the setup on quant. We can go over a setup on quant, maybe not tonight because it takes a little bit of time. But we could definitely go over something on quant. You know, I'm definitely not against that. I've messed with it a lot, so definitely get up. If the Nasdaq starts to pull back here. Oh yeah, sure. And that's the thing. Like I've already been through the hassle. Me and Tommy were talking about this today because I was helping him with his Ninja Trader. It's like I've already been through the hassle of kind of setting up this shit, and I kind of um I kind of know my way around the programs already as far as the futures programs go and these trading platforms go. So if I already know, you know, don't feel like you can't ask me or like you want to look up some videos on it. Just hit me up, right? If I haven't done it, I can probably figure it out pretty quick. Does Chappies have any videos on quant? I think he does. I think he's switched over to Tradevate now though. But yeah, I think he made a couple. Have you tried the DOM surface on Quant Tower? Yeah, that's this thing right here. That's what I was talking about. That's this thing. I don't find it useful at all. I have to go to the settings and top level back. There go. So if we're looking at this, you can decide how many DOM levels you want to see, the kind of the volume that you want to see. I mean, you can kind of decide a lot, but to me, it doesn't show me anything useful. It shows me that there's a big seller sitting on 49 flat all night. You know, like that doesn't do anything for me. I'm not seeing any liquidity movement. It's too hard to see. Maybe if we switch this background, we can switch it. Grid, price, horizontal. Grids on there all. We can change the color of the time scale. You would think there would be an ability to change the color to black on here or something like that. Then it would be a little bit easier to see. But you can't really see anything on here, so yeah, I don't really like it. I like this a lot better. But I mean, it's just personal preference, really. You know, it's just that's what I like. So, did I see questions, bro? How do we take benefit by looking at single prints? So you know that there's a position sitting there, right? So let's see if we can find some single prints here. We have a single print down here in the J period. And so what this is telling us here is that there's not enough selling to push through this level. There's enough buyers sitting down here in this position that bought through, that liquidated some people, right? When we ran the stops of I, we liquidated up. The sellers tried to come back in. They couldn't close this position, right? No volume. And the price auctioned back up. We see a poor high, and that's where buying shut off. So now what we're looking at is this is where selling shut off. This is where buying shut off. Where's the fair value in between these positions? And no, I'm looking at live chat. I probably just missed it. We're looking at value in between these positions. We can see we have 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, 3 here. All right, so here's pretty much where our value's at in this area. We see this big volume, See our red pill bouncing down, right? And we saw buying shut off. So until this buyer comes up here and repairs this 4 high, we'll look to continue staying in this short, right? And what we're looking for is to come down to this M period and to see if any sellers come in to push us back down. And if there's real selling, when we get back into this area where there was some buying going on, they'll close this single print. So a single print is letting you know where a position of liquidation happened and where there's a position at. So this was a short position. People were short. People were short, right? And they got liquidated. So they turned into a buyer. They bought their position back. Initiated buying came in when this couldn't close these single prints, which we see on the volume profile, and price traded up. Right? So we know if there's single prints below, we've got to be careful about getting short down here because we know that buyers are going to defend that position. I hope that answers your question. And so we're seeing buyers come in at this area here. We're looking back on our 30-minute chart. We're seeing those buyers come in as well. Right? You can look at the delta. We're seeing negative delta. So our delta currently is 52. Our min delta is 52. So these buyers tried it at the beginning. Sellers are overpowering them. And so we want to see if we're getting this negative delta, we should see continuation to the downside. If we keep seeing negative delta and we don't get continuation to the downside, well, that lets us know that there's a passive buyer here who's just buying all this shit up. All right, Andrew, we'll see you later, man. Have a good night. So we're seeing some more selling come in here. And so now what you can do, right, it's moving pretty slow here, but you could move your stop loss to this 47.50 if you wanted to, or even down here to this 48.25. So you take 1 point or 1 tick of risk off. And so now you're only risking 2 ticks. I mean, there is a goal to hit single prints, but you've got to, if you go to single prints, right? Like we saw in Bitcoin, there was single prints. It started to eat into the single prints and it didn't fill them. So, I mean, you can trade through single prints because it can run through, it can run through really quick, but you know, if it stops going through this, then you've got to be careful to get out of the way. Last time you said delta does not matter which direction price moves. Not sure what you mean by that. I mean, it really delta could be going negative and price could be going up, and that can happen for ages. So it doesn't technically matter. You know, it's not really something that I consider. I was just teaching it because it is something that people use and it's part of order flow. And people wanted to know about order flow, and so I like to teach the full spectrum. All right, Progressive, we'll see you later, bro. Good night, Gray. And I'll hit you up tomorrow, Gray. We'll figure out a time. I'll hit you up. Don't think I forgot about you. You're in a short, Mad Cats? Nice. Are you shorting the ES? Yeah, it is. It's just moving fucking just slow. Slow, slow, slow. Once I said delta is negative, but still price moves up, and you said that does not matter. Delta is negative or not. Right, exactly. It doesn't matter. Because delta can be negative and price can still continue to move up. So, and that's what I'm saying. So if we're seeing negative delta, price should move down. And if it doesn't, then that lets us know that there's a buyer sitting down here that's buying this all up. Okay, cool. So we'll just put it one taking profit, right? And you can kind of hide at the 750 level behind this. I really just wanted to hear 50 cent chirp. That's all I was waiting for. But yeah, Kumar, that's kind of what I'm talking about is, so we're seeing this negative delta. We should see price go down if there's real sellers. But the way that delta works, right, is back to our little chart. We have sellers here, buyers here. This is gonna be a positive delta if a buyer moves up, and it's gonna be negative delta if a seller moves down. So that's why sellers are going to show up on this side, buyers are going to show up on this side, and this left side of the footprint chart is negative delta, and the right side of the footprint chart is positive delta, and this is aggregated in between those. And so this is telling us that there's 52 more sellers that sold aggressively, that sold the bid to get into the market, into their position, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that there's more sellers. It's just saying that they were more aggressive in this spot. Yeah, delta matters more if price goes in the opposite direction. Exactly. And that's why I like those divergence candles on TradingView. The cumulative volume delta candles, whatever they're called. Because RSI doesn't do anything, man. RSI is it's bullshit. It means nothing. If you're using the RSI, you should just stop and never ever use it again. Ever. Never, ever, ever, never. You really shouldn't use any indicators, honestly. You don't need them. Your brain is the indicator. That's it. The only one you need. The CBD candles, yeah, those are the ones, Alex. Can't get your cousin to stop using it. Yeah, people are tricked into that kind of stuff, man. They're sold on it. Try to teach him the TPO, or just at least try to look have him look at it and be like, show me something that the RSI is telling you, and I'll show you that I can trade it better than you with the TPO. Yeah, I mean, and that's because an RSI can stay oversold, and I'm using air quotes that you can't really see, but it can stay oversold for ages. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily matter where the price is at, that you need to stay in this trade. You know what I mean? The VWAP's not an indicator, really. Oh, that's Christian. Oh, okay. Oh, I know Christian. Yeah. Can you tell us 3 things you notice when you're taking a trade? Yeah, I'm looking for, I mean, if there's a bunch of things I'm looking for. I'm looking for some initiated buying, initiated selling, maybe depending upon where we're going. Looking for some stops to run, looking for some imbalances, looking for a break of structure, looking for some continuation, looking for excess. I mean, I could go on and on. There's all kinds of stuff that I'm looking for. And I like to have at least 4 reasons why I take a trade. You know, that helps me qualify my trades a little bit more. So you see, like in the Discord, I'll post my levels, and well, that trade was a sim trade anyways, Mad Cats. I don't care about that trade. I was just doing it to show chirp. That was it. But the reason you're getting in these trades is you're looking for some reasons to stay in the trade. You don't want to just get in a trade because it broke structure, right? You're looking for, you know, more than one reason if you have that opportunity to get in and stay in. How do you trade, Kumar? What do you use? You use mostly indicators or what? I think it's putting in another poor high. Looks like Bitcoin's trying to bounce a little bit too. Finding a nice little bottom right here at this 44,730. Little break of that level. Where could we on? I didn't mean any disrespect if that's how it came off, Kumar. It was just that thing doesn't, the RSI is, it's garbage. Delta, VWAP, and cluster to see sellers and buyers. Yeah, that's good. That's great. Yeah. Oh, so you kind of tricked me up because I thought you were using the RSI or something like that. The RSI is okay. Let's look. I'm gonna add the RSI to Bitcoin right now and see what happens. When was the last time it was oversold? The last time Bitcoin got oversold, it was at, on the RSI, 47,192, and then it went up to 48,341 4 hours later. Imagine sitting through that. My goodness. Another time before that was oversold right here, 46,081, and then hit the lowest it went was 45967, so it went down like 60 points, and then went all the way up to 48,266. Right, so that's what I'm saying. These indicators, they mean they mean nothing at all. All right, Chirp, we'll see you later. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hit the hay as well. I'm gonna get some sleep. Got one more episode of Animal Kingdom to watch, so we're gonna check that out. And then damn, we've been on here for 2 hours. We're murdering this thing. I'll have to clip this video beginning and then repost it. That way you aren't just having to search for the whole video. But yeah, You guys have a good night. I think we got to most of the questions. If I don't answer one of you guys' questions during one of the stream, then just comment down below. I read all the comments on all the videos, and I try to respond to all of them as well. So if you don't get your question answered during the stream, leave a comment below and I will make sure that I answer it. Works better on higher time frames. Let's see. So last time this thing was oversold on a daily chart. Price was at 39,424 and then traded up the next two candles 42,360 before it had a pullback. Thanks, Kumar. Appreciate it, bro. All right, Sherm. Yeah, we'll see you in the morning for sure. I'll probably get on early again, guys. For those of you guys that are getting on the trade room, I'll probably be on like 5:30, 5:45-ish. I'm gonna be up anyways, you know what I mean? So might as well just jump in the trade room with you guys and just chill for a bit, get some levels rocking. For those of the YouTube fam that's here still, that aren't in the live trade room, you know, I'm sorry that I've been kind of neglecting YouTube lately. It's not intentional. It's just I've got a lot of stuff going on as far as trying to just get the best information out there as I can. And then we have the boot camp coming up next week. And that's going to be the boot camp of all boot camps. And everyone that's been in the boot camp before, like I said, you're more than welcome to come tune in. A refresher never hurts anybody. I still jump in refreshers any chance I get as well. So, yeah. But other than that, you guys have a wonderful night and make sure you are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. That's tomorrow from the office. All right, guys.